Oh, what up, man?
Damn, what's
What up,
up,
Dane? How you
buddy?
doing, buddy?
I'm just really geeking off of this fucking whiskey. It is delicious,
What
sir.
are you drinking?
I'm drinking Four Roses today.
Which one? Which one? Small
It's
batch?
the small batch select actually, and
Ooh, fancy
it is.
pants.
You know how usually you sip it. This is the kind of shit you put a droplet in your mouth and it just absorbs into your mouth. I love it.
Evaporates into your fucking
Yes.
face.
Mm.
That's what you need. You need liquor to evaporate into your fucking face. That's
Just
what
so
I
you know
require.
it's real.
Hey, salud. And to
Salud.
everybody tuning in right now, salud. Welcome to Failure Made Monsters. Before I do the introductions, before I say all the spiel nonsense and all that bullshit, I'm just going to skip right to it, guys. I'm cutting right to the fucking chase, and I'm cueing the music.
Represent the lobby, not the people. 4 years in a sequel. The bottom line is the bottom line. They represent the full, not the hungry. The NASDAQ, not the country. The bottom line is the bottom line. They represent the greedy, not the needy and seedy backroom dealings. The bottom line is the bottom line.
Billions and billions and billions and billions.
We're just going to keep doing that till the next
Playing
song.
the hits. Keep playing the hits, buddy.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Failure Made Monsters, episode number 28, I believe
Yeah,
we're up to.
damn.
I am Santino the Misfit, and this is my cohort, compatriot, and co-host.
Dane Alexander, but you can call me the Great for short, though. Nailed it.
You can. He is quite short.
I'm 5'4". Where?
No
And
one
that's giving
knows
me
it, though. Same, dude. I'm like this big.
Yeah,
How
yeah,
big?
yeah.
Wait a second.
Wait, what?
Wait.
What? How big is it? How big is it? Gross. I will say this, like looking at you just now because I was looking at how big you were.
Go on.
This ensemble choice. You look like the metal kid, like sophomore year in high school that like smelled like must, that nobody talked to, that always walked around with this face.
It's true. It's true. At this particular moment, for those listening to the audio only version of this, I've had my hair up all day and I could not be fucking bothered to do anything. So I just pulled it out of a ponytail and I don't know. I don't know what's happening right now,
like
but I'm looking greasy.
Like you'd be wearing a Metallica shirt, but you definitely listen to fucking Slipknot.
Dude, I listened to the shit out of some Slipknot. I still listen to Slipknot.
What was the first?
And Corey Taylor, like, and
oh,
everything.
wait. I felt the air rise up in me, and wasn't that right?
I felt the hate rise up in me. Kneel down together. I wonder where you
Wait and bleed. That's the name of the song. Fuck, it was coming to me. Yeah, I love.
Technically, their second record, because the first one was Mate, Feed, Kill, Repeat with Anders. The hell was the first singer before Corey? Anyway,
wait. Favorite mask character? Because I know what mine was.
In Slipknot.
In Slipknot, the OG.
It was Corey Taylor.
Which mask was his?
The one with the dreads.
Yeah, that was mine.
Yeah.
Like anybody that had dreads. So like when Korn. Okay, now we're gonna have this conversation.
Right, you know what? Fuck, real quick, guys. If you're watching and you came here for current events and news and shit, we'll talk about that later. Jewish space lasers, Marjorie Taylor Greene, all that. But right now, we're talking fucking Slipknot, Numetal, and my greasy ass hair, and I'm fucking here for it because it's been a long week, and I want to talk about something other than a bunch of crazy motherfuckers who don't know how to, like, I don't know,
other than that shit,
normal, be sane. So, Corey Taylor, let's fucking go. This conversation just got way better.
I remember first when I got into Korn, Monkey. Because Monkey had locks, and Monkey had the greatest locks ever. And this was like, you got a picture like little tot me. I was bald at this time, you know what I'm saying? There was no, like, I wasn't bald, but I was like, no locks. It was like little short, little fade, tight, whatever, maybe some braids up here and there. And I mean, like that whole, like the whole little corn movement. I even fucked with Limp Bizkit pretty fucking heavily. Like Faith was the shit.
I don't give people give Limp Bizkit shit. Fuck those people. Limp Bizkit was awesome. And Wes Borland is the fucking man.
Wes Borland made that shit. Like
Wes Borland is the fucking man. Now, real quick, current events. I have to mention this. And Matt Slayer's in the comments going to talk about Manson.
Oh,
And I've been a big Manson fan forever, but I've heard stories and shit that especially after moving to LA.
Same. I've
I don't
also
know.
ran into a couple of his exes. So same.
Yeah, I don't know what's true, what's not, whatever. But I don't not believe it. That's for sure.
Yeah, I'm not gonna sit here.
Hear so much from so many people who are like completely unrelated, and you're like, all right, well, somewhere in the middle here lies the fucking truth, and it's still really bad.
I'm not going to die on the altar of, I loved his music, so he would never do that. Fuck that. Like, I definitely know personally 2 of his exes that.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah, this is not, it's not out of nowhere, out of the blue.
Yeah.
But I don't know to what extent. Like, I don't know how.
So we were talking about Wes, and it's funny because I put it on my notepad. There's like 4 things in the notepad. Normally it's filled with like 20 items. We just couldn't be fucking bothered. But one of them was
today.
Was Wes Borland, formerly he played with Manson for a bit. Obviously, Wes is from Limp Bizkit primarily.
He did?
Yeah.
Right.
And I think Blacklight District was the other band. But
that's right.
He was quoted on, I want to say it was Loudwire today. He was in the band for 9 months. And he goes, he's not a great guy, talking about Marilyn Manson. Every single thing that people have said about him is fucking true. So relax about the allegations towards the women. Like when people say bad things about these women that are coming after him right now, fuck off. They're speaking. Yeah. I'm sorry to everyone on the podcast right now. He was on a podcast when he said this. Yeah. Who doesn't like this? But that guy, he's amazingly talented, but he's fucked up and needs to be put in check. And he needs to get sober and he needs to come to terms with his demons. He is a bad fucking guy. And that's one musician that I like talking about another musician I like, and he's worked with him. So it's like, all right, yeah, and that I mean with all the stories and all the shit that's come around, and you have somebody who has like no literally, I mean, I didn't even really know he played with Manson before. Yeah. Like, yeah, this is all fucking true. And then after reading about, what Evan Rachel Wood's post and shit, you're like, fuck, dude. Yeah. There was just like rumblings from strangers in LA I had heard. That was it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, I mean, and also, so everything that I'd ever heard, and I'm gonna tiptoe around this just in case.
Fair enough.
Is just the level of fucked up he has consistently gotten for a very long time.
Yeah.
Has a lot to do with it. And also, he's Marilyn fucking Manson, but that it's not surprising. Let me put it that way. It's not, it's not out of nowhere.
No, I had only seen him once live, and it wasn't terribly long ago, considering I've been a fan of his since because I used to live in South Florida when he was coming up with Spooky Kids and shit. I was really young.
Shit, yeah.
But like my what was it, after school care counselor, whatever. Like I used to stay after school, like my parents had work and shit. Yeah. And my counselor like went to high school with Brian Warner and shit. So like I had known about him since I was like a child, and I've been following. My little sister was wearing a Manson shirt when she was like 9. Like right. I've been a fan of his for fucking ever, and I hadn't really seen him just for one reason or another. And the one time I saw him was on that tour he did like 5 years ago. I went to PNC or some shit, and all I heard the whole time like about that tour is how fucked up he was getting, and like with sound guys and security and shit, and like just being like a complete shithead backstage. Like, terrible.
Yeah.
I mean, I thought it could have been just part of like the whole the mythos that is Marilyn Manson. Chalk it up to like, because he also used to set Bibles on fire and do all this crazy shit, and he had to do the story that he removed his ribs to suck his own dick and all this shit you grew up hearing, all this crazy shit.
Where the fuck did that even come from?
Who the fuck knows? But after some point you're like, all right, so every outrageous thing, what's true, what isn't,
right? What's not? Yeah.
And I've heard rumblings of this shit. I'm like, I can't tell if it's just people feeding into the mythical version of him,
right? Of him, yeah.
Shithead, and turns out he's really a shithead. Apparently,
really a shithead. And I mean, you hate to
fucking have to deal with it. It's awful.
You hate to see like this happen to heroes. You know what I mean? People that you like idolized at any point, but then you start like, and I'll tell you this: it's kind of like yours. When I moved to Hollywood, I got to see the curtain pulled back on a lot of fucking people, and I was like, wow, y'all ain't shit. Like y'all ain't shit, but like you're shit people that got real rich and real famous real quick. Good on you, bro. But a lot
of that in financial district back in New York too. A lot of that. People who got a lot without having to do a lot.
Yep. See, I will say this though. Okay, so I have my my upper echelon of people that I fucked with that if I ever found out that they turned out to be shitty people, it would crush me. Like if anybody from MCR turns out to be a bad person, like, oh yeah, he fucking
I've never heard a bad thing. So like I
no, me either.
Because I grew up right where MCR came up. Obviously I was in Central Jersey, and I had I was 1 degree away from that whole crew when they were starting out, and Gerard used to work at like
wait, MCR?
Yeah.
I fucking hate you. Like low key, I hurt you.
I wasn't actually a big fan of them until I didn't become more of a fan of them until after they broke up.
Fuck you.
Like,
I
liked them. Like Helena was like the jam.
No, fuck that. I was a fan from their first. Okay,
I knew who they were.
Their first EP. They were Vampires and something. It was like, okay, so all right, so you went from Limp Bizkit, fucking Cold Chambery, fucking all that shit, and you either went like the Numetal Stained and all that shit route, or you went like hella emo. And I'll be honest, I head first into fucking emo. I was like, yeah, I
went in straight nu metal, and then it deviated from there, but we can get into it.
I like shit that screamed like. And I think a lot of that was Jonathan Davis. He kicked that off, like, because he did that.
Fuck yeah, dude! Korn was one of my first favorite bands. You know what I mean? Like, you have like your fucking ultimate favorite band. My first was Green Day when I was like.
Green Day was solid though.
Green Day was like Dookie and shit was the fucking.
Dookie was the shit though.
Damn, I was at Green Day and Offspring and stuff at the time, and then I started getting into heavier stuff.
Did you get into the Zoot Suit movement? Like the swing music movement?
A little bit, like a Zoot Suit riot.
Throw back a dollar beer.
Zoot Suit riot.
Gross. We need to stop. That was terrible. That was a terrible thing. But it was fun. I had one. I wore a Zoot Suit to my friend's prom.
I demand photographic evidence.
Oh, I got him. Yeah, I got him for sure. I'll post that. Like, who wants to see me fucking? Put in the comments. Who wants to see me in a Zoot Suit?
See that
at my friend's prom, because I never went to mine.
Looking at the comment section here, Matt again, Matt Slayer. Apparently, he worked. He was head of security detail when he played the Ace 6 years ago, and can confirm that he did not treat the security well, which is shitty. And real quick to the point earlier too about MCR. The only reason I was saying any of that is because I have a lot of people because I was in the music scene there, so a lot of people were 1 degree away. From Gerard and the crew there, and I have never heard a bad thing about any of them, especially.
I'm so glad you said that.
Everyone said like the nice shit. He was just like a good dude, and he seems it, and that makes me happy because I have a great amount of admiration and respect for him, especially being a musician who's branched out into other things too, and had great success there with like the Umbrella Academy and all that, which is fucking amazing. You know, I really.
How'd you feel about the Postal Service? And like Death Cab for Cutie and the Postal Service?
Oh, I never got into Death Cab.
Bro, I'm telling you. I went deep.
I went the other way.
Culture.
I went the other way. I went like, it's not like this. All the bands you're mentioning and shit were like downer music.
I know, but I was going through a lot, man. I was going through a lot.
That's fine. No, nothing against it. It's just I literally went the opposite direction. So like, if you went to downer music, I went to like Reveille and like Limp Bizkit. Like hit like rap rock, like heavy shit, like and
POD,
metal.
Yeah.
And then I started branching out into like Unearth and fucking Chimera and
I went deep
into work, dude. I went nuts on Soil Work for a minute.
I went deep into like emo and hardcore. So like Donnybrook, fucking Terror, not Terror, but the other Terror.
Converge, remember them?
Converge. Wow. I'll tell you. Okay, the other thing I actually have footage from is so I went to a Terror show. Yeah, bro. And it was like, this was back when they were kind of getting big, but whatever. He was still like, I don't give a fuck. And at this one point in the show, and you could see it, he's like, everybody out there, get the fuck up here. And so everybody starts running up onto the stage doing gainers off the stage. Like that was the whole last, and you see me, it's just like me jumping up on stage and then doing a gainer off into the fucking crowd. And it was like one of the greatest moments of my life.
I need footage of that as well.
Yes. I'm
trying to think who the craziest concerts. I've seen a few fucking nuts ones.
Fire from the Gods, Wall of Death. AJ.
all right.
When AJ does a wall of death, it's great. But we're talking before.
Yeah, I mean, I'm talking like because earlier walls of death were a little crazier from my experience. So like I saw Hatebreed at Ozfest do a wall of death.
Hatebreed.
So that's fucking super up there. I actually I don't get super into this, but the short version is I shouldn't even be saying this in a fucking podcast, dude. I met Josta at Ozfest. He was, like kind of talking to my sister. There's some shit that's like a long time ago, and I was trying to be a tough guy and shit, like, you know, to him of all people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
No.
When I met him, he was like the sweetest fucking guy.
Right.
And then you see him on stage and he's like wall of death. People are literally just like dying in the middle of this shit. I love that shit, dude. So
you know who else?
And Throwdown.
One of the best shows I ever went to had PE.
I played with that like 3 times, dude. They were fucking awesome.
Check that.
I
Hold
love
on.
PE.
I can't believe I almost did this.
Blackout was the damn
best. Yes. The best show I ever went to, and this might date me a little bit. I actually went to a Deftones show during the album, the Adrenaline album, and I actually crowd surfed to the front and sang on Chino's mic as he was singing, and that was probably like how the fuck did that even happen?
Concert going experience.
Yeah, that was fucking nuts.
That's awesome.
And even to make it better, it was at the Riv in Chicago. And if you're from Chicago, Matt, you could attest if he's still on. The Riv in Chicago is fucking historic. Like literally everybody's played there. Someday I want to play there. So
I had a venue like that, and I was fortunate enough to do Starland Ballroom, which it would have been Birch Hill though. I played when I was growing up, like that was where I saw these fucking concerts. Like I saw I saw Killswitch Engage.
Killswitch.
Hang on. Peak Killswitch early days. So like right after they were just about to come out with the end of Heartache, they were working on it. It was the second or first week that Howard was in the band. Nobody knew. So like they didn't make a thing of it. I just showed up to see the band, and then fucking Howard came out and started singing instead of Jesse. And I was like, what the fuck is going on? And I swear I've never, to this day, I don't think I've seen this many people crowd surfing. And I was in the front row up against the barricade. It was like a 2,000 something cap club, 3,000.
Yeah.
And I got kicked in the head like 20 times within 2 songs. I had to back out. I was getting woozy and shit. I was like, I
remember crowd surfing one time and I lost my keys. And I remember I was like outside when the concert let out. I'm like, I gotta wait till everybody leaves and I gotta go try to find my keys. Dumb as fuck. This is the dumb shit that goes through your fucking head. Like I'm gonna find them. And I'm sitting there and like I had them on a lanyard. You remember when lanyards were the shit? Like everybody had their keys on lanyard. And I'm sitting there talking to my friends. I'm like, I don't know how the fuck we're gonna the car keys. I don't know. And then all of a sudden I hear somebody jingling keys. And I don't know why, but I was like, those are my fucking keys. I just know it.
Really?
And sure as shit, motherfucker was like walking by. Anybody lose their keys? Anybody? I was like, oh, those are my fucking keys. Yeah. Anyway, yeah. Who knew? Shit like that.
Shit.
Shit like that.
I had a lanyard. When you keep all your passes from like shows.
Yeah.
Like, I
have one.
Dude, I had a stack. And this is when we were doing like highlights of my life shit when we play with like Saliva, Papa Roach, Buck Cherry. I had like Jaeger tours.
You played with Saliva?
Twice. Played with Saliva twice. Once with Scarlett, once by myself. The second time it had a different singer. It wasn't Josie. It was the new. And then I also that same show was with Head PE as well as a festival and Mushroom Head and Candlebox.
I fucking love Jared, by the way.
They're
from Head PE. They were
fucking awesome.
Hey, ready for this?
Shoot.
You remember Snot?
Fuck yeah. Actually. So funny story about Snot.
Mm-hmm.
I fucking remember like when Lynn Straight passed and they did the Straight Up record.
Yeah.
Which was amazing.
Amazing. If you've never heard it, seriously, go get that fucking album.
Yeah. So I became aware of them, I think, through Seven Dust.
Oh shit! You know how many times I got called that everybody people thought I was John. Fucking so hate it. He's like 8 shades darker.
Dude, they were one of my favorites too. Fucking,
he's like 6'4", by the way.
Yeah, they're amazing.
Yeah, they are.
And anyway, so I found out about them through that and shit.
Shout out Joey Hollywood real quick. Shout out Joey Hollywood.
Is he in there?
Yeah, he just jumped in. Appreciate you.
What up, Joey? Glad you're feeling better, man.
Yes.
So yeah, fucking so I became loosely aware, of them through that, and then that's how I started following them and shit, and I listened to some of the older stuff with Lynn, and then I started following Sonny Mayo.
Okay, yeah.
Sonny, this is this full circle fucking shit, right? So Sonny ended up playing with Head PE for a while.
Oh,
Sonny,
that's right.
Sonny also replaced Clint from Seven Dust for years, multiple
I didn't
records.
know that.
Sonny was the new guitar player for a long time. So anyway, I'm out here. I'm backstage at what was it, the Roxy, I think, with Papa Roach.
Really?
And,
oh, fuck you! That was your life. I didn't
no,
know.
this was like 2 years ago.
Oh, what?
Yeah. So I'm backstage and I'm sitting next to this dude. Now, for those of you who don't know, Sonny, in my case, I grew up with the nickname Sonny. So like Sonny is like his shorthand for Santino, like Sonny Corleone from The Godfather.
Teeners.
What's that?
Teeners.
Teeners. So anyway, I'm sitting backstage with my wife, and we're just bullshitting. I think I was talking to Kobe or something, and this guy sitting next to me, and we just start chit chatting, and it turns out his name's Sonny.
Yeah.
And I start, going, oh, Santino. And he's like, oh, we start making the Godfather reference, just kind of hit it off or whatever.
Right.
And we're just bullshitting all night. And then I leave. We go to it's like, I don't know, a couple weeks or a month or something.
Get fucked up.
No, nothing. That was it. That was my first interaction. And then the next time I go, we saw, it was shit. It was a Sumerian. It was a movie premiere.
P.S. Shout out Ash. Appreciate
it. Shout out Ash and Jacobo.
Yep.
Fuck, dude, I can't remember the name of the film. It was a documentary about a gentleman in a band who's got a disability. It was really fucking
no
good.
idea what you're talking about.
Shit. Anyway, so we're leaving the theater, and I see Sonny again. I start bullshitting.
Yeah.
I leave again after we just kind of. What's that? Mind Over Matter. Thank you. It was
okay.
Mind Over Matter.
There it is.
Something like the something Syndicate, right? Was the band? Shit. Anyway, but so fucking, I'm dragging this out. But we go. I see Sonny again. We start bullshitting and stuff. We're leaving. As I'm walking back to my car, somehow now it dawns on me that was Sonny Mayo.
Yeah.
Sonny, I had talked to this guy twice. I've been aware of him for 15 fucking years or something.
Yeah.
Had no idea that was the guy I was talking to. Turns out, bringing it full circle, when I said earlier I played with Head PE, when I was like 16, I played with him. Like 20 years before meeting him, I had already met him once before at Birch Hill for fucking ever ago. One of my first ever concerts that I ever played.
I met Rob Zombie in the pisser at the fucking Roxy and didn't even know it. Swear to God, he's like, and it was fucked up because like I'm taking a piss, whatever, and I see this guy. He's like tall, and he's got locks, and I'm like, cool. And I first moved here like a few years ago, and he's like, hey, nice hair. And I'm like, oh, thanks. Not thinking shit of it. And then I'm like walking out of the bathroom, and everybody's like, yo, did you see Rob Zombie was in the bathroom? I'm like, I was just in the bathroom. I didn't see Rob Zombie. Like, yeah, he was in there with you. He just walked out. What the fuck do you mean? And I'm like,
it's for you.
But you don't realize, like when I first moved, I didn't realize like, fucking famous people were just people like people just be at the spot or whatever. But apparently I guess they'd either played a show or they're about to play a show or something like that. I was like, that was pretty fucking amazing because he was pretty fucking normal, like just not even.
No, and when you see him, you would have no.
Yeah, you wouldn't know. And if he's not all Rob Zombied up, he just looks like a fucking guy with locks.
Like a dude.
Yeah, like a guy.
Dude. That was I did that with and it's funny too because like I knew it's one of those situations the guy's there. Yeah. I went to the premiere of Noah. That Russell Crowe movie with about Noah's Ark or whatever.
You went to that premiere?
That
movie was terrible.
It wasn't. I think I might have told the story in the show too about like I sat.
I think so.
With Regis, that whole thing. So we went
when Regis died. Yeah, you told it.
Yeah. So that same night I did the same thing. I was with Ray Winstone in the bathroom. It's like the same thing. We're the only two fucking guys in there, and he's been in like Spielberg and fucking flicks and shit. Yeah, and it's literally the two just standing. I'm looking. Literally the only two guys in the fucking bathroom, and I'm like, "Hey, what's going on?" And I walked out, and it wasn't until after I walked, I was like, "Holy shit, that was fucking fucking." Ray
Were you a go to a metal show or even play a show and like start a pit guy and be in the pit guy, or were you not?
I was early days, like when I was much younger, and then I didn't I didn't get into it. Every once in a blue, like when I
I
saw
said-
Drowning Pool and shit, I was into it.
At first, I took offense, but then I got really into it. I used to be like, "What the fuck are they doing?" And then like sock a motherfucker on accident one time, and I promise you, it'll change the way you look at the whole crowd. You're like, "All right, look."
I was always
whatever.
a bigger guy, dude. They become a magnet.
Yeah. I would have.
It wasn't fun.
I would have
'cause
pushed you.
Everyone was trying to knock me down.
I would have pushed you. I would have done that.
I was,
But
and I was fat as shit too, and fucking so I had like I might even early days I had like the blood red hair, and I was like almost 300 pounds. Like I was a giant fucking fuck with me magnet, Well,
you're the metal kid that sat in the back of the class and like fucking.
I tapped. I
Like,
tapped to the point where I got the tension for it so much. I would just be drumming on shit the whole
I was gonna say drumming on shit. I fucking-
1000% that was me.
Oh, that's great. That's great. No, Rolando, fucking this drink is so it's look for the record, it's 104 proof. Understand that. And it's the kind of thing where, like I was saying earlier, you're used to sipping like an easy bourbon, but this is like drops of it. You start feeling it pretty immediately. It's crazy. Love it though.
Bailey Grant in the comments here. I got my first concussion at a Motionless in White concert when a guy who was crowd surfing threw his ass into my face while jumping off stage. That's both hilarious and terrifying. So I'm sorry that happened to you, but Motionless in White is dope.
Now that you say that, I feel super bad for like all the people I probably like kicked in the face.
That's why I would never crowd surf for that reason.
Dude, I loved crowd surfing. It was my favorite fucking thing.
I just always thought like every movie you see where the person like that worst case scenario crowd surf happens.
Yeah, they just fall.
Separate. I knew if I ever did it, people would be like, "Yo, fat boy, don't you fucking even think about it," and they just scatter like cockroaches.
By the way, bucket list item number 6 is crowd surf doing a performance because I've never done that.
Me
I got really, really close in Chicago when I played Spring Awakening. So close.
I've been in the crowd, but I've never crowd surfed.
Yeah, I've been in the crowd. Oh fuck yeah, I've been in the crowd.
Like almost every show, it's become like a mandatory thing. But I wouldn't. Oh, the other thing too is like when you play some of the bigger spots, like especially now, there's that gap.
That gap, yeah.
Yeah, I'm not. Who the fuck am I? I'm not clearing that. I will die on the fucking guardrail before I clear it. I mean, I don't know. Jerk up and crushes a security guard in all of his rims.
There's something about like when you're looking at 20,000 people and none of them can be on this, like be up to the stage. It's kind of like it feels cool, but it feels a lot cooler if y'all could be right here.
Those security things have the step on them.
Yeah,
that's my spot.
I like that. Yeah, that's my spot. Or the other thing, my other favorite spot is foot on the speaker stack. Like
so we would
monitor.
Dude, so I had to be. I always had to be careful with that because you ever lean and the whole thing's not. It's not. They're not always.
And it shakes a little.
Oh no! Like full flip over. I've knocked the fucking monitor off a stage by stepping on it because I mean we used to go nuts on.
Yeah.
Fucking crazy. So we would we started bringing what we call ego risers. You ever see the boxes?
But where are they? Like on the stage or in the front?
Monitors, so they'd be ours. First one we made when I was in Scarlet, we made ones out of like wood, but the height was a little off. So if you stepped on them wrong, the whole fucking thing would flip forward. So they were like,
but they just go over the monitor, so you can stand on it.
So later on, those are the ones we got when we did later, like more recently. We got other one. We went. Shout to Tommy and his father. But Tommy was my rhythm guitarist and our bassist now in Scarlet, and we made these fucking like dude soldered like these steel fucking cage things together, and they were like
stand on
to put so we made they had like metal mesh on top, like this thick ass diesel metal mesh that was basically made out of just like razors. Like if you grabbed it wrong, you were slicing your shit all up. Big ass frames, and we went nuts, dude. We put like those like little silver buttons that look like they're like on stomp boxes and shit. They trigger things like electronic.
Yeah.
Click clack. Yeah. So we put like this whole fucking block of them on the top right and hooked up like sirens and strobe lights and fog machines inside the fucking box.
So you can just step on it.
And we'd have one on each side of the stage so that we could simultaneously trigger like red sirens and fog machines and shit to the music. And it was like putting on our own little fucking stage show without like, actual help or money.
Right?
Yeah, it was dope. Those things took a fucking beating too.
If we go to Jersey, and we play together, I'm stage diving.
Do it. And if we do the Stone Pony, no, depending on the night, sometimes no barrier.
I don't know what the Stone Pony is, but
Stone Pony is a historic landmark saved by Bruce Springsteen, actually, in Asbury Park, New Jersey.
oh, so
At 1,000 cap. It's where we played last.
Okay. Yeah, I'm definitely doing that.
That would be the spot. That'd be the spot. Shout out to the Stone Pony and Kyle Brendel.
And
yeah.
I'm definitely going to, because like, all right, you know what it is like you're right. You think nobody's gonna catch you. You think nobody's gonna catch you, but it's like it'd be a testament to just how good or bad you're doing. Because like if you jump and everybody catches you, nailed it.
This is gauging it.
Yes.
Are willing to die for me now?
If you hit the floor, go back to the drawing board. Fucking spin some new songs, buddy. You're not quite there yet.
That's funny. Yo, real quick in the comments. I know we got Bailey's answer, but what are some of the best or craziest concerts you've been to, or who played them? And shout to Rolo here in the comments as well. He was at the Pony Show. He's been to most of the Pony shows I played in the last 10 fucking years. So big shout to Rolo for that and family.
I'd say best show. Okay, you're gonna fucking freak out. Best show I've ever been to, and I'm sorry, but this is the absolute fucking truth. It's a toss up between. It's fucked up. It's a toss up between Outkast.
Okay.
When they put out it was that Bombs Over Baghdad record. Criminal? Is that a Criminal? Yeah. That shit was bananas.
Andre's fucking genius.
Andre he came out in these big furry pants.
Yeah.
No shirt. I was like, I want to be that someday. But it's a tie between that and ICP.
I believe it.
Yeah, they snapped. ICP used to snap, and Fago the whole nine, painted my face the whole nine. This was,
dude. You were juggalo.
I was a juggalo. I really was.
That's
deep
fair.
in that shit.
Chicago too. So.
Yeah, Midwest. They were from Detroit.
In the area, dude.
Yeah, I was like,
I had what was it, Ringmaster and
Ringmaster was the shit. Great Malenko is what popped them. That was the one that Disney dropped them for.
That did it for me. Who's the Chicken Hunting Rock remix is what pushed me over though.
That and then
but I found Twisted too was another one I got into.
Twisted was the shit though. Twisted, they had bars though. That's why Twisted.
Yeah.
Fucking what's his name? Tech 9 came out of that whole camp too.
Tech slept on motherfuckers forever, but he just didn't stop.
Yeah, I could put on shit right now that like I promise you, if you put it on right now, it will rival shit on pretty much anything that's come out in the last fucking 10 years. Like he's still putting shit. I mean, he's kind of reached. He's at that like underground goat status.
Yeah, so it's like Immortal Technique.
Oh, don't you fucking talk.
Right? He's at that you just they didn't get to that super mainstream shit.
Don't you talk to me about Dance with the Devil, bro. Don't you?
Peruvian cocaine.
New one. Ready for this? Okay, I met Immortal Technique. This was when I was first trying to be an actual artist. I went to Warped Tour, and
what happened?
And I met him, and I just gotten into I was paying attention like to everything he wrote. Like I was getting all the stories, whatever. And at one point in the show, I'm like, "Is Dance with the Devil real?" And he goes, he's like, I get that question every time I play a show. I get that question: is Dance with the Devil a true story? And he kind of did a little cop-out move, but I was okay with it. He's like, it's true because something like that or something similar to that happens in every ghetto across America right now, all the time. And I was like, okay, that's a good answer. And then after that, I got pictures. I will fucking post them. I have these pictures. I actually got to take pictures with him and shit. And he was like, and I told him that I wanted to be like a fucking MC. And he's like, make sure you say something. And I was like,
fucking
that's some shit. Ain't that some bro?
That's an impact. That's a great thing to say to somebody.
Yeah.
I did. Do you remember POS?
Do I remember POS? Bleeding Hearts, sir.
Yeah.
You're talking to an atmosphere fiend, bro. You're talking to Rhyme Sayers fiend, bro. Brother Ali, bro. We could go. What? Sir, I'm finding this out about you. This is a vibe right now.
So I met POS.
before he had his kidney issue and all that stuff, and was like,
when he did the record. What was the record he put out? It had the sample from Under Oath in it.
Yeah, that. Oh, well, fuck. Wasn't it self-titled? Wasn't it POS?
Maybe it was.
I know exactly which one you're talking about, because I remember hearing that, and I didn't know that was an Under Oath song, and I was like, oh, I love how he blended like the two genres.
Was it Audition?
It was Audition. It was Audition. Yeah, no, man, I'm gonna have to go back and listen to that album tonight. You're digging in my crate right now, bro. You don't understand. Like, no. So okay, I take it back. Hold up, I take it back. So I was in Milwaukee. I went to Milwaukee to see Atmosphere in Milwaukee with my best friend Jason Blasco. Jason, if you ever fucking see this, I fucking love you. Know that. And we go to this. It's like at a bar, whatever, big, like whatever. And he has this show, or he has this song called God's Bathroom Floor. I don't know if you ever heard it.
Is it on that record?
It's not. It's on an older. It's on an older Atmosphere record. It's kind of whatever. But it's like there's this part in it where fuck. It's hard to explain, but there's this part in it where the cadence kind of skips, and he does this thing where him and the guy, like I guess one of the producers or whatever, decide to go back and forth like 2 words per live.
That's fucking
blew my fucking mind when I first. I was like, how do you get that in sync? Then. Yeah, practice. But at the time, I was like, they must have just wrote it together. Like, check the floor. God's got nice tiles. Fuck.
He was awesome.
Does anybody know the lyrics? Anyway, and POS was like, I'm so sad at what happened to him. How he got, like, he had that kidney failure or whatever.
Yeah,
he got really sick, and it just basically stunted his whole fucking career. Like he was moving. He was like on album number 2 or 3. He was getting a lot of steam.
There's a few artists that I thought for sure were going to like break, and he was one of them. Him and do you remember Tone Deaf?
TONED double the F. Who's next?
Dude,
Bro,
who
are you right now? I'm not even. Oh, I'm geeking.
Word you heard but couldn't discern. Most of the shit that I spit is the bird. Anybody heard me once. Oh, dude, I was fucking. Do you
remember
Porcelain? I learned how to rap fast by learning Tone Deaf shit.
Do you remember Porcelain? That song you had?
Yeah.
Bro,
was it the same record as Pervert and shit, right?
Yes. Better watch your fucking mouth because I'm a pervert.
PQ5, dude. I fucking
look. But here's the thing. I learned how to put a bar together listening to that and Mortal Take, like how to put it together.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like
they were like my biggest influences. And I have to and the other 2 big ones that were mainstream were DMX and Eminem.
Right. We are so much closer now. You don't even understand. You don't even like I'm glad that a few people that are on the live right now get to see this. You have a special place in my heart right now because of
music, brother.
Because you said like, okay, so there was a time when the shift happened, like, you know, rap game changed, whatever, and a lot of people just didn't talk about like those artists. Like they just were the underground, so like they didn't get you hear people saying Brother Ali, and if you brought up Brother Ali, people would be like, who? What? And I'm like, wait, I need to play this for you.
And,
you don't understand how a bar works. Huh? Sage Francis,
another one who was like, I didn't get super into Sage, but he was another one of those dudes that was like, this is gonna be a thing. And
Sage then Sop Rock, idea, abilities. Like we could go, bro. We could go into this shit. I am a student of the game, the craft.
I was more the QM5 crew. I was getting into big at the time. Who was Cunning Linguists were on there?
Cunning Linguists. J5 was still part of like that.
There was so much good like hip hop coming out of like was it Minneapolis and New York?
All that Midwest East Coast kind of thing was really bubbling.
It was smart.
Yeah, it
was like really fucking smart when everybody else was doing, because there was the other part of the East Coast thing was like, especially New York was like all like 50 and like
right. You had that. It was club banger shit. Yeah, gangbang, club bang shit. And then you had these motherfuckers
shit.
And then you had these motherfuckers that were like talking about emotional trauma. You know what I'm saying? In a rap song, like Slug. look, if he ever sees us, shout out Slug. He's one of my favorite MCs of all fucking time. He's definitely top 3. I don't give a fuck what anybody says. We can fight if you want to fight. I have hands. You should too.
Ready to win on it.
You know, but fucking like when I started to hear how he would say shit and it was just conversational, like it just sounded like he was talking to you. It didn't sound like a song. It just sounded like he was just telling you a fucking story. I was just like, I don't know how he just did that, but I need to figure it out. Anyway,
that ability to seamlessly turn rhymes into storytelling is one of the things I love so much. That's actually something I really loved the most about M.
Yeah,
he's do that
early M.
Just completely.
No, wait a minute. Have you heard Nat?
Yeah,
off of his new album.
Actually, the guy who shot all of our shout out to Michael Stein. I'm gonna show a commercial real quick. The guy who shot my commercial, my buddy Mike, did. He was a DP on that video.
Run the commercial. I need to see this.
Commercial. Let's go.
This is Amanda Dutton, a photographer from New York City. Amanda just woke up next to Davey Bales of LA-based punk band The Wraith. Amanda also just realized that she isn't wearing any pants. And neither is Davey. And while her bold winged eyeliner and red lip may have survived last night's mosh pit, it did not survive Davey Bales of LA-based punk band The Wraith. But with her f***ing fantastic makeup remover towel and some water, Amanda can easily remove her merciless pillow face. Good job, Amanda Dutton, the photographer from New York City. You may have just live tweeted a photo of Davey's junk, but you look f***ing fantastic.
I am not mad at that at all. First of all, shout out Amanda Dutton because I actually know her, and when I saw that commercial, I was like, I fucking know you, and that's so funny. That was good, man. Good
Amanda's been a friend of mine for like 20 years or something now, and so when I wrote the spot, we shot that during this whole quarantine thing, had to get everyone tested. It was a whole fucking thing. But shout out to Mike Stein, who was my DP on that. But so he did not. So that's how I found out about it the first time. And I was like, yo,
bro.
That and Godzilla, like the last times I'm like, fuck, dude. I'm just gonna stop.
His cadence usage is bananas. I have not. So okay, look, there's a lot of times where he goes a little too abstract, and you're like, bro, you don't have to rhyme every syllable. You don't have to like the cadence doesn't have to be that crazy. But like when he makes
bagging the baggins.
But when he does it and it's like melodic and it works and it's like this, it's a step up. You're like, there's no way you're gonna do more. Okay, yeah, you are, and it's gonna make sense.
He does, and he takes it to like a whole other fucking level. And you're like, what just happened?
And you feel like there was a time when people would have competed with that. They would have said, okay, I got to get my pen better. But now it's just like it's
they're trying to say less.
Yeah, now it's just like, well, fuck it. He's got that lane. I'm not going to even try. I'm just going to do this dumb shit.
I feel like hip hop now, not everybody, but most hip hop now, at least the shit that's like been trending, is like, how can I say the least with the least amount of words?
Yeah, guilty.
What the I mean, look, to each their own. I just can't. I'm like,
you know what? And a lot of it is. I mean, you see,
and it's the same cadence with 90% of them.
You see me like I can run all of it, but you have like you start taking into account the attention span that you're dealing with. Yeah. There was a time when people like you would listen to the track to figure it out. You know what I'm saying? Like you listen so you could see like what that thing. Brother Ali did this really, really well. He said, I can weave a web of words so intricately that the English dictionary lacks an adjective to fit me, iffy. And you hear that, and when you first hear it, you're like, oh, it's catchy. But then you're like, wait, what did he just say? Did he just rhyme? Did he just rhyme syllables? How did he do? Like that was like maybe I'm a nerd like in that way of like how I look at the craft, but that shit was fire to me.
M is another. He's just another. You could use M as an example from 90% of this shit, but like. But he does really well too of taking like the A of a line and matching it with end of another line, and that. I love shit like that. But saying something smart that makes think about it, but it also sounds dope to listen to. That's the trick, right?
One of my biggest pet peeves, and this is look, feel free to do this on your own time, people in the chat. One of my biggest pet peeves is people that leave rhymes on the table. Like if you
God, I fucking hate that.
If you-
Especially when they fill it with the same rhyme.
So wait, let me explain. I'll explain this for anybody that doesn't write. So if you stress a word, right? So if I say something like, I can't believe, so I'm stressing can't believe. So at some point, I need to rhyme something with can't believe. Otherwise, your ear's gonna fucking hate you.
Yes.
But what people will be like, I can't believe I did this shit. It was crazy. I do this shit on the daily. I bought it, and you're just like, fuck about can't believe. Why can't you go back? Anyway, big pet peeve of mine. M never does it. M never. If he stresses it at any point, he'll do 6 bars in it and bring it back to that first part of it, and you're like, fuck.
And he'll hit it with other words too, like not just repeating the phrase. He'll hit it with other words. He'll repeat the phrase, then he'll hit it with other words again, and then he'll move it.
It'll be in the middle of the word where he rhymes it.
And you'll be like, what the fuck? Why? It sounds like it shouldn't even have been on like time, but it still works.
Yeah.
You ever see the breakdowns, the color coded breakdowns?
I love them. I love
incredible. If you haven't seen those in the chat, or if you're listening to the
breakdowns, they are great.
Look at they do these color coded breakdowns of them cars and shit. And there's a few artists that you can do this.
They do Notorious Big. They do bigs too.
Big, yeah. I mean,
they can rock him. Yeah,
it's really. It just shows the like on a macro level the amount of care,
effort
in everything he writes.
Yeah.
Not to fucking stand him this fucking hard. Shout out to M for fucking making that a thing.
Stan is a thing because of him.
Because of fucking Eminem.
Out of here. Outta here.
Yeah,
that's legendary GOAT shit right there.
He's arguably the best to do it in my lifetime.
The best to do it? No, not the best to do it. Rakim is up there.
He even credits.
Okay, here's what I'll give you. I'll give you this. M is on the Mount Rushmore for sure.
For sure.
He's on the Mount Rushmore. Like if that's the case. But I mean, you start getting into people like, obviously I put Slug up there. A lot of people don't, but I do. Mos is up. Mos is he's in the building. Pharaoh Munch is in the building. Fucking, you know what I mean? Like, yo, should we do a classic? I was just thinking about this the other day. Is like doing a track that like pays homage to the classic.
You mean like redoing doing a new track on an old beat?
Yeah, but more in that stylistically in that way too. You know what I mean? Like that.
My Name Is.
What?
I redid My Name Is.
But I mean the whole, like where he got like that the stylistic era. Yeah.
Oh, I mean, I would. Yeah, I mean, like if you're not.
Whoa! Remember Drug Song? Whoa! Yeah. They won't let me ever let him go. Huh? The drug ballad. Yeah, drug ballad.
Every time I try to leave, whoa, them geeks pulling on my sleeve. Whoa, but I gotta stay.
Drugs really got a hold of me. So here, you want to hear a funny story about me? All right, here's one. Story time.
Isn't that what this whole show is? It's just funny story time.
And I'm now manipulating the microphone, so you know what it is. All right, so ready? So the first time I heard Drug Song and Stan, I was on mushrooms.
Wait, you heard? Hang on, real quick. Hang on. You heard both of those? Those are two separate albums, years apart.
No. Wait. No.
Drug Ballad's on the first Slim Shady record.
Which one was?
And is the one with the fan, with the scribbles and shit and the Dido.
Are you sure? Are you sure those were that far apart?
Like
okay. So I heard both of those on my shirt.
Hang on. Let me double check. I don't
know, man. I think they were on the same album. I want to say they were on the same album, but I could be wrong.
Drug Ballad by Eminem. Stan on the same record? That's like his second album, isn't it?
Yeah, it's like the Marshall Mathers LP.
And isn't Drug Ballad on the first one?
No. Fuck no. That was the Eminem LP or whatever. That's with Kim and all that shit on it.
Hang on. I'm looking at
let him go. I'm gonna suck all they gotta say.
I'm not positive about it. The only reason I'm even saying it's just because I forget how old these albums are,
Yeah, we're going deep into crates.
dude.
Let me tell you how I'm in the backseat of my homies. I think it was like a Lincoln Town car. Don't talk to me about it. We was pulling down North Avenue. We called ourselves ready for this?
I don't want to hear it.
All right, Chicago. Fuck it. Whoever sees this later, Chicago, stand up. We used to take the fucking Lincoln Town car, and we would cruise from North Avenue. So North Avenue runs from the city to the suburbs, and we would take that bitch from the suburbs to the city, from the city back to the suburbs, and that's it. That's what we were fucking do. So anyway, I'm in the back seat, and he put on a drug ballad, and I mean, I ain't never felt so cool listening to a song.
It is on the
Boom.
city.
Thank you. I ain't never felt so cool in all my life. And then the whole emotional dynamic switches when Stan come on, because I hear the pencil hitting the paper, and I'm like, what the fuck is that? And then I realize it's part of the song, and I'm like, how the fuck did you think of that? How the fuck did you think to make that part of the song? Blew my head, bro. Blew my fucking head.
He was great at blending these, like, I mean, he still is
Innocuous sound, seemingly innocuous rain.
It's weaving in and out of shit too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Dragging a corpse through the grass or through the dirt.
You know, I gotta say this too. Who doesn't get enough credit for like crazy ass skits mixed in with shit was ICP.
Yo, thank you for that. Thank you for that.
Great fucking job with these, like, the game show song was a song mixed with a skit.
It was a running like theme
Narrative
through
song.
like 4 albums, like, and it was all connected. They had books, they had comic books. The mythos that they created was pretty fucking impressive.
Dude, hang on. I cannot believe that the fucking second Eminem record was 2000.
Was it?
Yeah. I'm looking at it right now. So the reason I say this, and not to get morbid or anything, but like my cousin Luke, who passed when I was 16, was like one of my best friends, and his favorite M song was Drug Ballad. But I'm sitting there thinking, like, that was for fucking ever ago. You know what I mean? But yeah, it really was. So I didn't realize. So the first M record was late 90s.
Yeah, because I remember I met him as a child in a fucking at a record signing at Tower Records.
Did you really?
Yeah, and then I accidentally set a dumpster on fire.
That's amazing. That's amazing.
Yeah, I got arrested. It was fun.
Here, a random factoid about meeting a celebrity at a very young age, and the only reason I cared, I met Dan Marino at a book signing when I was like 9 or some shit. Dan Marino. So he was the
quarterback for the Dolphins,
the Miami Dolphins. I lived in South Florida. I was a Dolphins fan at the time. I was a Giants fan mostly, but I was a child. But I only cared about meeting him because he was in Ace Ventura, and I was obsessed with Ace Ventura and everything Jim Carrey.
I mean, I definitely went through like when Mask came out, I went through that phase for sure,
dude. I 90% of my personality is derived from early 90s Jim Carrey comedies.
Yeah.
When I say
I see that in your intonations.
Yeah,
I can hear it.
It just is. There's no arguing with it. He's on my. So you were talking earlier about like meeting like legends or whatever, and you don't want them to like not.
Yeah,
you don't
want to be shitty.
Top 3 people. He's on that list for me. And you know what's funny too is being a musician. None of them are like, one of them's kind of a musician, but like Will Smith, I would love to meet. The Rock and Jim Carrey.
Like The Rock was my number 1, and I met him, and he's fucking amazing.
I heard amazing. Yeah, that's right. You told me.
Yeah, he's an amazing individual. Like, I don't have a bad word to say about him. Like, I will say this, like, best person I've met since living in LA, and I've met, like, I remember I met fucking Be Real from Cypress Hill. And I thought he was, I grew up, you know what I'm saying? Like, who doesn't? Anyway, and I thought he was going to be the shit. And I go up, and we're chopping it up, like having a drink and shit. And I'm like, I'm in. He's cool. Da, da, da. And I'm like, maybe it was my own, I was starstruck or whatever, but I'm like, yo, can I get a picture? And I swear, all the emotion drained out of his face. He's like, really? And he just looked at me. He's like, really? And I'm like,
did you say that?
Yeah, swear. He said his exact word. That's all he said, really. And then he's like, come on, man, whatever. And then I was like, fuck. And I have that picture too. Like, and you could see it. He's like, does not. It was like, why am I doing
Worth
this?
it?
But I'm like, you're a fucking legend, bro. Like, what do you mean?
Worth it?
It was worth it because I fucking got a picture of Be Real. I was amped. So,
Okay.
okay.
I hate that shit.
Like, yeah.
You know,
It was
I
like Chino actually. I met Chino in Vegas. Super cool. Took the picture, super cool. And I told him I sang on his mic because I was really fucked up. And he might have just been entertaining it. And he's like, yeah, man. But I was like, hey, man, this one time I like crowd surfed and I sang on your mic in Chicago. Maybe you remember. It was terrible.
Damn,
but he was cool about it. He was super
no
cool.
wonder Be Real was like, really?
Yeah, I mean, whatever.
You didn't go with that energy towards him.
No. I really we were, and I think what it was too, we were chopping it up, and it wasn't anything about his career, none of that shit. We were just vibing, you know what I'm saying? And I think he was just like, really, I thought you were a normal person, but now you're a fan. Whatever, bro.
Well,
Okay, cool.
like you can be both.
You can be both. That's what I said.
Both, dude. Like, so I to this day, of everyone, I've had the good fortune to meet a lot of cool people and shit. Obviously, we worked with Danny, and Danny was super cool. Trejo.
Yeah.
And for the
That's
film,
got to be cool.
I spent a lot of time with him, obviously. So he was super fucking chill. Super nice guy.
Yeah.
I always felt a little bit like some random jerk off. Like I even saw him. I don't think I've told this story. I saw him a year or so after we shot the movie at the taco spot in Hollywood.
Oh yeah, the one we went to. Remember when we went on that date?
Yeah, baby. So at his cantina and
Fire, by the way.
It place is dope. I'm with a couple of friends, close friends, fortunately, and my wife. And Danny walks in, and he's walking around, shaking hands, saying hi to everybody because they just opened. So he was like in and out pretty regularly, just to keep people coming in.
Yeah.
Shit. And he walks by and he's saying hi, and he comes up to us just to say hi. We're sitting at the bar, and I was like, "Oh, what's going on?" I was like, "Hey, actually, he had no idea who I was looking at me. Now, I had a completely different hairstyle and all that shit.
He's also a little older,
He's a little older and shit. So I start reminding him, but I didn't go nuts. I didn't want to be like, "Oh, well, this is where we shot it." I was like, "Yeah, I directed a film called Bully about a year ago. Comes out soon."
Yeah,
nothing in front of people, my wife and everything. I was like, "All right."
But I mean, also, that caliber, he's got a lot of projects too.
Oh, I know. So that's why I didn't get butthurt about it or anything, but I was a little like, damn, because
I was in there.
Right. So like, and setting this up. So I'm setting this up. So of everyone I've met, because I met a bunch of people multiple times or played shows with X, Y, and Z, whatever. And I will forever fucking say this till the day I die. The coolest dude I met that I looked up to growing up was Jacoby from Papa Roach. To this fucking day.
I'm not denying it. I just never looked. I never looked up to him. I like him, but I was
like. Let me just, because we're almost
they were like some 41 to me.
No, dude. Roach
band.
Roach has been one of my favorite bands since I was a kid.
Okay.
Since like Last Resort, Infest record and shit. Like since then, one of my all times. Still to this day. And then when we got the chance to, they were one of the first bigger bands we played at Starland Ballroom with. Back in Jersey. So like we played this. We got
no disrespect to them, respectfully.
No. It's all good. So like I was trying not to fanboy. You know what I mean? I was trying not to. I think Rolo might have been the night I met Rolo actually, because they were there for Roach.
Yeah.
And we opened the show, sold out. It was fucking amazing. One of the best shows I've played ever. And before we went on, I remember I was walking around. I wanted to meet them. And, I was always me. I was always like, I didn't give a shit about this. Like, I need to meet like a guy I like. I'm like, I need to network. Like, I'm trying to be on your level. I need to meet this dude. I need to meet the people you work with. I need to meet I'm gonna be friends with your merch guy, your tour guy, like who the fuck ever in your camp. But I don't normally do this, but I was like, I want to meet Kobe. So anyway, I was walking around. I said something to somebody. I don't remember what I was like. Yo, if Kobe's around, I'd love to say hi and just like if he wants to stop by the booth, grab anything he wants. We had a merch set up right next to him. So I'm walking around about 10 minutes later before doors, and someone comes up to me and goes, "Yo, Kobe's looking for you." I'd never met the guy.
Yeah,
I never met the guy, and he's like, "Yeah, I want to make sure you get something from the fucking table too." And he was trying to find you and say hi and shit. And he wanted to make sure I got a shirt and shit. I'm like, what? Like, what?
That's dope though.
How the fuck do you even know who the fuck I am? Like, why do you even know I exist and I'm looking for you? Like, somebody actually told you this and you cared enough to reciprocate. And then that went further. We ended up, he liked us when we played the show. So like after that, if ever I was in town when they were touring, he made sure like we got backstage and hung out.
See,
He brought us on to play with them at the House of Blues in Atlantic City and shit. It was we not just to open too. We played direct support for Papa Roach at the House of Blues.
That's
like,
what that's what kind of,
he was fucking just so fucking cool about it. And his
that's
brother,
what kind of superstar I'm gonna be.
Yeah, same. That's what I always said, and I try to make a point to always be that way with everyone else. Like,
yeah,
our opener. This is a true story. Our opener when we did our reunion show a year ago. 2 years ago now, I think, after the pandemic blurs into like a long month of Groundhog Days. But I met this kid at Hot Topic when I was handing out flyers and just doing the thing. It's like 2 years ago. And he was so fucking cool about it, and so like gung ho. I booked him on the show.
Nice.
The show that I was there promoting from.
We should. You know what? We should discuss offline. We should discuss offline how we can figure out a fan experience.
I'd love to do that. Well, actually, not just that she's a fan, but I know Jen was in here earlier. Jen, we need to talk to you still. We're gonna get you on here.
Yes.
Y'all are doing cool shit. So we want to highlight that, bring it up, and let you come on and talk about it.
And just FYI, not only Jen, but we're gonna have a lot of guests coming up.
We do. We got
I'm pretty excited about that. We're gonna be playing some games and stuff. It's gonna be fun, guys.
Dude, so make sure. So let's just we're gonna wrap this up. So I'm gonna go through the paces real quick. If you don't already, hop on over to YouTube, subscribe to Mainstream Misfit.
Oh, hey Jen. Sorry, she said yes.
Hi Jen. There she is. She's still here. So yeah, hop on YouTube, subscribe to Mainstream Misfits, hit that notification bell. You'll catch our broadcasts for the live version of this show every Friday at 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Also subscribe to Santino the Misfit and Dayne the Great on Twitch. And that's where we'll be doing these broadcasts from now on. But we'll also be hooking up with our boy Matt Slayer for some Among Us towards the end of the I think that's on what is it, the 18th, I believe.
Yeah. After bullshit Valentine's Day.
Yeah, after Valentine's Day.
I'm not bitter. I'm just bitter.
Oh yeah, that's cool. That's my favorite flavor of chocolate.
Whatever. I'm not married. Fuck you.
And then we'll be doing a little thing with I don't know if it's confirmed yet, but with Annie Cruz from Call of Duty on Twitch.
Jeez.
I hope. So we'll try and set that up and get her on the show. And Matt Slayer will be on the week before that. And we have we got plenty of politics to talk about coming up. So we're going to see if Mr. John Pavaroma can join us for next Friday. I'm not telling you he said yes yet or not. I don't know if he's busy.
We'll see.
But that's the plan. We're hoping. We're playing it fast and loose, man. We're in quarantine still. So. Anywho, so yeah, go on, subscribe, check this shit out. If you're listening to the audio only version, or you want to listen to the audio only version, it's available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, etc., where most podcasts are found. You can find all the links and past episodes in video format at failureMadeMonsters.com. I'm Santino the Misfit. This is Dayne the Great. Thank you guys so much for tuning in to all our fans. This has been a wonderful conversation. I know we didn't get into space lasers, and I'm pretty fucking.
I had fun though.
Yeah,
I needed that.
We spent another episode talking music. I'm fucking here for it. And if you guys, as always, if you have any topics you want us to talk about, any guests that that you think might be great for the show, hop on over to FailureMadeMonsters.com. There's a form at the bottom of the site. Pop on there and let us know. Or of course, hop into the comments section in the middle of a show and just start yelling shit out at us.
Santino nudes. Santino's nudes of your dick.
Butt ass naked. Well, actually, I'm pretty sure it still says to send Dayne nudes on the contact form from like the first episode. Anyway, this has been Failure Made Monsters. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Dayne, I love you, buddy.
I love you right back.
Chat, thank you guys so much for joining us. Have a good night.
What do you do? Oh, just